in our opening featured match. As for Bolton, they'll want to prove their critics wrong and quickly dismiss the thought that they're relegation material. The match commentator is Martin Tyler.
Bolton have lost both their matches so far. A tough start for Bruce Rioch's replacement as manager Roy McFarlane, but he's been pleased with the level of performance and names an unchanged side. Two players in particular coveted by bigger clubs, defender Alan Stubbs and Republic of Ireland midfield man Jason McAteer. Another Irish international, Owen Coyle, partners Dutchman Fabian de Freitas in attack, with last season's top scorer John McGinley as yet unavailable through injury. Blackburn's defeat at Sheffield Wednesday in midweek, no cause for panic for Ray Harford and no changes for Rovers either. So a second opportunity for newcomer Matty Holmes, who had an outstanding debut at Hillsborough after his move from West Ham. Both goalkeeper Tim Flowers and substitute Mark Atkins have already received red cards this season, but their suspensions not yet started. They're involved today. Confusion for Blackburn at the back, just as there was when they lost a goal late on to be beaten by Sheffield Wednesday last Wednesday. And that air of uncertainty carried on here at Burnden Park, with Pearce and Berg going for the same ball. Flowers down, and de Freitas hooking it in. 21 minutes, and for the first time in Premier football, Bolton Wanderers are in front. Matty Holmes spun and shot, and Blackburn score when they're on top as they have been. Roy McFarlane was thinking of making a substitution. But he couldn't change things in time. And Holmes, via the back of Phillips, brings Blackburn level. The deflection made all the difference in Blackburn's favour. They hadn't had much luck in front of goal, and suddenly it changed for the benefit of Holmes in particular, in only his second game in Blackburn's colours. And back in front. And Blackburn must feel that it's all going to happen here at Burnden Park as it did at Hillsborough in midweek. They're 2-1 behind again. Stubbs was a bit bashful in going forward, but when he got there, he was picked out perfectly by Mark Patterson. And a real captain's contribution this, a towering, unstoppable header.
Arsenal's Ian Wright has scored twice already this season. The arrival of Dennis Bergkamp and David Platt may have captured the headlines, but Wright clearly is determined not to be overshadowed by them. Coventry had the better of this match, but found Arsenal calling on their renowned resilience to frustrate them. They almost sneaked a goal on the break too. This was David Platt squeezing a shot narrowly wide. David Seaman was Arsenal's hero, the England goalkeeper in superlative form with a string of fine saves. This one from the Brazilian Isaias in a goalless draw. It's taken most of the summer to sort out them, but at last the transfer wrangle is over. Russian star Andrei Kanchelskis finally completed his move from Manchester United in time for Everton's home game with Southampton. His arrival has given Everton a cutting edge to their approach play that they were lacking. And their goals account for the season was opened by Anders Limpar on 34 minutes. Soon after, Southampton were reeling again. A cheeky opportunist goal from Nigerian international Daniel Amokachi, standing in for the injured Duncan Ferguson. That's how it stayed for Everton's deserved first win of the season. A very satisfying start for Kanchelskis.
Yeah, I'm very good to the game, and the first game after international game, and it's very difficult. Team today very well play. I'm happy and win 3 points. Yeah.
Leeds striker Tony Yeboah has staked a claim for goal of the season with his incredible winner against Liverpool. It took Leeds less than 3 minutes to break open Aston Villa's defence at Ellen Road. David Weatherall meeting Gary Kelly's cross, and Gary Speed followed in to make sure it was a goal. It was mainly Leeds on top, with Villa offering only the occasional glimpse of their attacking potential. This was one scare, though, for the home side. Mark Draper's shot deceiving goalkeeper John Lukic. The odds on a successful Leeds Championship drive are rapidly shortening, and they remain a constant threat in this game. Yeboah had Mark Bosnich at full stretch with this save. Then 2 minutes from the end, Leeds sealed their win with a second goal. Substitute David White on the end of Brian Dean's accurate delivery to make it 3 wins out of 3 for Howard Wilkinson's team. For Aston Villa, this was their first defeat. Leeds 2, Villa 0. His problems with shin splints hopefully over. Andy Cole was back in Manchester United's starting lineup for the first time this season. Cole's prediction for the campaign ahead, just watch me go. As Wimbledon later discovered, he was true to his word. It was Roy Keane, though, who applied the first major blow to the unbeaten London side. Keane's finish on 26 minutes, emphasising his own determination to take on the mantle vacated by Paul Ince. This was the cue for United to step on the pedal, and on the hour, United supporters were on their feet to salute a wonderful individual goal from Cole. No Wimbledon side ever concedes defeat too easily, though, and they were back in contention 3 minutes later. Robbie Earle, the beneficiary of good work by Øyvind Leonardsen and Alan Kimball. But it was United who completed the scoring. Keane second of the game and third in 2 matches, coming when Paul Heald could only parry a shot from Lee Sharp. Perhaps Manchester United have been written off too soon. £16 million, Middlesbrough's brand new Riverside Stadium was ready to stage the first home game since the team's return to the top flight. The Middlesbrough public turned out in their thousands. Indeed, fittingly, it was a full house of 28,000, Borough's biggest crowd for 13 years. The atmosphere inside for Chelsea's visit was electrifying, and the first ever goal scored in the new ground arrived 6 minutes from half-time. The honour falling to Craig Hignett, intelligently set up by Nick Barmby, a treasured moment for a player who recently took a wage cut to stay on at the club. Chelsea, yet to score in the Premier this season, showed more purpose in the second half, but still lacked penetration, and they conceded a second goal on 74 minutes, scored by Norwegian international Jan Fjortoft. Brian Robson's team clearly outsettling Millie for survival this season. Robbie Slater wasn't guaranteed a regular place at Blackburn, but West Ham are hoping the Australian winger can give their season a lift after his recent switch to Upton Park. His new team, indeed, were given the perfect platform for a fighting display at the City Ground with an early goal. Just under a quarter of an hour played, when good service from Julian Dix enabled Martin Allen to head past Mark Crossley. Forest had most of the play in the first half and were levelled 10 minutes before the break after they won a penalty. Don Hutchison, the culprit, for his apparent tug on Dutchman Brian Roy. Forest captain Stuart Pearce duly collected his first goal of the season. Forest strove continually for a winner but couldn't find one. Their frustration boiling over when Roy took exception to manager Frank Clark's decision to substitute him. He threw his tracksuit away in disgust. Northeast of England. At a cost of £16 million, Middlesbrough's brand new Riverside Stadium was ready to stage the first home game since the team's return to the top flight. The Middlesbrough public turned out in their thousands. Indeed, fittingly, it was a full house. The Doommongers are predicting a difficult season for Queen's Park Rangers. Going into their home match with Manchester City, Rangers were still without a point, or indeed a goal for that matter. But 31 minutes into the first half on Saturday, they scored one. Simon Barker's chance, created by Kevin Gallen and Ian Holloway, this to reward a purposeful opening half an hour. Emulating the goal-scoring regularity of Les Ferdinand will be a major task for young strikers Gallen and Danny Dicchio. This was one of Dicchio's opportunities, a good save from Ike Immel. City showed little punch in attack, and their afternoon ended in despair with a late sending off. Teenage substitute Michael Brown dismissed for a professional foul on Andrew Impey. This only 12 minutes after he'd replaced Steve Lomas. Relief for Rangers, they're off the bottom. Winners by a goal to nil. Alan Ball spent 40 minutes after the game lambasting his City team. Tottenham's season has started so far. They're hoping Clive Wilson, signed on a free transfer in the summer from London neighbours Queen's Park Rangers, can help them improve now that he's fit to play. But this, without question, was Liverpool's day. They were ahead on 6 minutes with a memorable goal from John Barnes. The England man underlining his continuing importance to the team with this classic strike. Tottenham's attacks were laboured and generally unconvincing. And 2 minutes from half-time, Liverpool's authority was confirmed with a second goal. Another one for Barnes, released by a neat combination with Robbie Fowler. This Barnes' 100th for the club. Early in the second half, it was 3. Fowler, again impressive as replacement for the injured Stan Collymore, collecting his 50th Liverpool goal as Tottenham failed to prevent his rapier finish. Spurs' only consolation on another highly disappointing afternoon for them was this late goal. Ironically, an own goal from John Barnes, who deflected in Dumitrescu's corner. 100 goals for Liverpool, and now one for Tottenham. Kevin Keegan. Sheffield Wednesday are hoping for improvement this season under new manager David Peat. They were on a high after their midweek success over the champions Blackburn. The commentator is Paul Dempsey.
Chris Waddle misses out today, the England international, but that does mean a first appearance for Sheffield Wednesday on home territory of the brilliant Belgian Mark de Gruyter, an established international player signed from Anderlecht, and a player who we're 14, who's expected to make a huge impression in the English game this season. He's been doing it at international level for many years. It's much simpler in tactical and personnel terms for Kevin Keegan and Newcastle United. Shaka Hislop retains his place in goal ahead of Pavel Srnicek, who's back from suspension but on the bench today. David Ginola from Paris Saint-Germain. From the man who may prove to be the finest foreign acquisition of the summer. That's fantastic. He caught Sheffield Wednesday a bit flat-footed, but he really has no right to score. But it's ripped into the bottom corner past Pressman, and Newcastle United are in front. This is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The power generated from such a little backlift is phenomenal. Good touch from Brown. And the only amazing thing is that it's even more audacious from Peter Beardsley than the ball to him was from Ginola. Pressman was caught out here. It will surely settle the game. It's a magnificent ball from Ginola with the outside of the boot. And Beardsley says, that was nice, but anything you can do, I can do better. Was it a shot or a cross? We'll never really know. But either way, it embarrasses Pressman and surely means that Newcastle will be top of the Premier League.
Right. Up to date on the